July the 10th picks edition of the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. You can win up to 325 times your entry with their Pick 8. Sign up with our promo code MLB SGPN to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com promo code MLB SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Build your own betting model using their AI betting engine. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Tuesday, July the 9th. We are here to run through a full card of action for Wednesday, July the 10th. And for the second night running, it's me and Mr. Scott Reichel. Scott, how are you?
Yeah, doing pretty well. I was busy watching some of the soccer matches, or match, I should say, and it was profitable, but to be honest, but either way, we had 3 goals. We saw a goal from open play from France. We haven't seen that before, so that was a surprise, but good win for Spain. Not surprised. They've been the best team in the entire tournament, so I don't know about you personally, but I thought whoever won the Spain-Germany match was going to win the entire thing, so that's kind of how I felt, but
They'll
you feel the same way on that?
Yeah, they'll absolutely be favourites. They'll be 4-6, -150 favourites, something like that, to win the tournament. I think tonight was the best result I've had in terms of it handicapping the entire game, because I really haven't had a good tournament, but I made up for it tonight. Spain 2-1 on the Spain team total was wild. Spain in 90 minutes, and I took the boy Lamal anytime goal scorer at +333 as well. So absolutely swept tonight, and I was well overdue a little bit of luck. So I'm absolutely over the moon with that. 16 years old, Scott, that kid, scoring world class goals at major tournaments. I mean, I just said, what were you doing when you were 16? Absolutely unbelievable. But yeah, good. England play tomorrow night, so we'll see how that ends up. It will be like a dog with fleas, probably. But England keep getting lucky, and I'd rather be lucky than good, Scott, as they say. Trev in the chat saying the kid's still got braces. Bob pointed that out, actually, because Bob's got an appointment to go and get his braces in a couple of weeks, and that kid's rolling about scoring worldies in the Euros with his braces on. Ryan was first in the chat. How you doing, Gio? Gio's got far too much money on Tuesday's action. Good. Right on, Brad. Gio. Eric's here as well. Champion. This is a bit of a weird one because it's not very often, certainly the same team of hosts go back-to-back here. Obviously, we have a rotation of 5, and we normally mix it up. But Dylan got rear-ended by somebody in his car today. He's all right, but it's just a pain in the arse having to sort all that shit out, isn't it? Munaf was driving around Houston to find somewhere with cell service, so he could message us to tell us he's got no power. So Munaf's out of action, and Lonte is nose to the grindstone, working class hero. He's still rocking the 9 to 5, Lonte. So me and Scott, this is a bit of a weird one, Scott, because we handicapped 15 games last night. Nothing's happened since. We haven't seen the Tuesday games, and now we're handicapping the Wednesday games. So there'll be quite a lot of repetition out of it. Also, there's about 6 or 7 pitches on this Wednesday card that we handicapped for the Tuesday card. There's been a lot of pushback. Shorter and Arden in the first game. We handicapped him last night. He's back on Wednesday. There's loads of them. So if you think you're listening to the same show again, you're not. But what can we do? We try and find some picks. Let's tell you first about Munaf, actually, the Machine Manji, and Chris getting you ready for the NFL season with the Propcast. Episodes dedicated to season-long props and the awards market. And check out CJ Sullivan and his road to $10 million on Bottom Line Bombs. That is a great list. Tune in wherever you get your podcasts or the SGPN app. Wednesday starts with a little bit of baseball, one game, that's enough for me to have a little go at. Although I'll be watching England actually at the same time tomorrow. I'll have to multitask. The Minnesota Twins at the Chicago White Sox, and it's one of the biggest names in baseball. It's Simeon Woods Richardson going for the Minnesota Twins, and Drew Thorpe will go for the White Sox. Quite a lot of chalky games, actually. We start with quite a few chalky games here. The Twins minus 210, the White Sox plus 176. Total here is 8.5. Firstly, I've only seen these lines in the last 20 minutes or so, and if I was picking a side, I'd take the White Sox. Thorpe's been all right, and you can't take minus 210 with the rookie Woods Richardson. He's good. He's been great. They might win the game. They're very likely to win the game. But of the two sides, the values for the White Sox definitely. Woods Richardson has been steady. He's been consistent. What you get out of him is 5 or 6 innings, 2 to 4 earned runs. Fits into that bracket just about all his starts, which is decent enough. Minnesota have won his last 3. So Minnesota need 4 runs to win this game. We've established. Can they get them? Off Drew Thorpe. Thorpe's got 3 beauties in a row. 18 and 1/3, 3 earned runs. And the White Sox have won all 3. That's part of the reason I'm telling you the White Sox money line has to be the value. But I'm happy to trust both pitchers. Yeah, total's high enough. I'll take your first 5 on this one.
Yeah, so I am a little bit confused, though, because ESPN's listing Lopez as the starting pitcher, so now I don't know who's pitching for Minnesota in this game. Are we sure it's Woods Richardson?
MLB.com and I think Fantasy Pros is what I use, and they're both Woods Richardson. I'm just saying who's maybe listed on Thursday. The Twins do not have a game on Thursday. So, yeah, I mean, that's as much as I know him. Yeah.
All right. I'm just asking because I actually like Woods Richardson more than Lopez. I don't think Lopez has been very good so far this season. Assuming it's Woods Richardson, I'll take the minus 1.5 with Minnesota. I understand the points you're making. Thorpe's been fine, especially for the last 3. They faced off 8 times this season. Do you want to guess how many times the White Sox have won?
5.
The answer is 0. They're 0-8
bother.
against Minnesota. They're 0-8.
It was going to be very high or very low. Shit.
Yeah, they're 0-8. I gave out the Twins minus 1.5 for the season for the series opener yesterday, and that won in extras. But the point is, the White Sox bullpen's terrible. So anytime they're leading, I don't trust them. I don't trust them when they're tied either, and I don't trust them when they're losing. So I never trust this White Sox team. Woods Richardson's been good. He held the Astros in check on Sunday. Jordan did not play, but he still pitched well. And Minnesota keeps scoring a bunch of runs. Miranda had multiple hits. I called that yesterday because he gets a multiple hit game all the time now. I'll go with Minnesota. They just find ways to score 5+ runs in every game at this point, and the White Sox stink. So give me Woods Richardson. I'll take the minus 1.5. If it is Lopez, though, I'll take the over. So it does depend on who's pitching for me, but I don't trust Lopez at all, and I'm not a big Lopez guy. So maybe it's a one-off because he's been pretty good in years past, and this year not so much. But Pablo's been really bad, so I can't back him in this one. Depends on who's pitching for Minnesota, but I think Minnesota can score either way.
35 is the start of the evening action. It is the Chicago Cubs at the Baltimore Orioles. Left-handed pitcher Shota Imanaga for the Cubs, and Corbin Burns for the Orioles. Plus 136, the Cubbies, minus 162, Baltimore. Total is at 8.5. Obviously, we handicapped Imanaga last night on the show, Scott. I think we kind of gave him a little chance as well, or certainly I did. I thought he might be able to show a little bit of form. Last night was taken on Dean Kramer. Tonight, though, is taken on Corbin Burns. Slightly different story, Scott.
Kinda, and not really, because I still like the under in this game. I'm not going to suddenly go to an over. I understand that the total's still at 8.5. So that's good enough for me. Give me the under 8.5. Pretty simple.
Sweet from Scott. I mean, I liked Imanaga against Kramer. It is tougher. Well, it's not tougher for him. He's facing the same Baltimore lineup. So if I liked him on Tuesday, I'm liking him on Wednesday. That doesn't change. But obviously, you're expecting Burns to give up a little bit fewer. 10 home starts for Corbin Burns, 178 ERA. He's improving month on month as well. So if I'm still liking Imanaga, you can't pick holes in what Burns has done. So yeah, first 5 under again. I haven't got as many unders, I promise, as last night. But I'm going to start with a couple there, first 5 under. Third game on the card is a 6:40 Eastern first pitch. The Cleveland Guardians and the Detroit Tigers. This is Tanner Beebe for Cleveland. It is Reese Olson for the Tigers, who are plus 118. Cleveland are minus 138, and the total here is 7.5. Tanner Beebe has a 7-3 record. He's got a 3.67 ERA. He's been largely fine. 2 career starts against the Tigers, 0-2, 7.82 ERA. So fairly short sample size, but the Tigers have had his number. He's been decent on the road, 4-1-2-7 ERA. Reese Olson has been pitching really well. We made a big thing about how his win-loss record nowhere near mirrored his ERA. The two things were quite egregious, actually. And now his results are catching up just a little bit with his performance levels. This looks like a pitching duel, but I think Olsen in this spot, and I think Detroit are underrated. Cleveland aren't nearly as good on the road. They've been absolutely incredible at home, but pretty much bang average on the road. Detroit have won 4 in a row. Olsen's pitching well. I think plus money on the Tigers here is really fair. I'll take plus 118 on Detroit to score.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree. Detroit's been in good form. They won 1-0 yesterday. It was pretty funny because they ended up posting a clip from my take about Flaherty for the Tigers preview, and Flaherty didn't pitch. But they still won 1-0, so Tigers got there anyway. But yeah, I think for this one, I am going to lean to the Tigers. They've won 4 straight. They've been pitching well recently. Cleveland, as you said before, is a lot better at home than on the road. Still fine on the road, but Bibees has some issues against the Tigers in the past. I'm going to agree. Give me Olsen in this one to pitch well.
Okay. Team right on the Tigers. I'm all for that. We move on. Actually, I'm going to tell you first about Underdog Fantasy. Pick 8 is now live and created. It's with up to 8 picks. Underdog will automatically double flex entry, so you can miss up to 2 picks and still win. Loads of ways to win extra. You can win up to 325 times your original amount. Specials and boosts on all flexed entries. There's a bit of a wild underdog promotion actually going on for the home run derby, which involves, which player is it? Is it Jose Ramirez? No,
yeah, he just announced he's going to do it again.
Who's the Oriole? Henderson or Rushman? Henderson.
I think it's Rushman did it last year. I think it's Henderson this year. I think
they all look like Abercrombie and Fitch models. The entire Orioles lineup. Yeah. So whichever Oriole it is, to hit over higher, can't say over, Scott. Higher than half the home run in the entire thing, basically free money. So get an Underdog Fantasy. Use our code MLB SGPN. And yeah, that's outstanding. I'll tidy up that promotion for tomorrow so I know exactly what it is. But anyway, you can't go wrong. They've got the Euros out as well. I'm going to put together a lineup for England, Switzerland tomorrow. A little underdog play as well. MLB.
Well, I got bad news for you because England already played Switzerland. So I think you mean Netherlands.
Oh shit! They're playing the Netherlands.
They're playing the Netherlands. Yeah.
It would have been a little bit easier for the Switzerland one. You get a special pick and first-time deposit, as well as that large home run derby offer, up to $250 in bonus cash. MLB SGPN, the Circa Millions and the Circa Survivor, $16 million in guaranteed prizes. Survivor, $10 million. Run the NFL gauntlet, and the Millions, you pick 5 NFL teams against the spread every week. Footballcontestproxy.com will save you $50 on the proxy with the promo code SGP. You need the proxy to play once you've signed up. And in the middle of August, 22nd to the 24th, Sean and Ryan and the gang will be out there at the Circa. So go and enjoy all of those shenanigans. 6:40 Eastern first pitch, the Seattle Mariners, the San Diego Padres. This is Bryce Miller for Seattle. And it is Michael King for the Padres. Plus 108 Seattle. Minus 126 San Diego. Total is 7.5, Scott.
So I actually like King. I think he's a solid pitcher. Miller, I can be kind of lukewarm on. I think he's fine, but I'm not the biggest fan in the world. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game. The issue is San Diego's bullpen I can't stand. This bullpen's been terrible for the last week, really no matter who they use. So I have a hard time trusting anybody in the pen. But I think King should pitch well. He's been really good for the last month or so. So I think he's in line to give a good performance. Seattle's not very good on the road. San Diego is 1 over at home. But Miller, I think, is okay. 6-7, 1.08 whip, but he has given up 15 home runs. So that can be a bit of a concern. Pulling up the recent starts for Miller, he's been fine for the most part, but those were at home. So far this season, he does have a 6.28 ERA on the road. I'll pass on that one. Give me San Diego first 5.
Padres as well, Scott. I went full game, actually. I didn't have the level of shrewdness that you have to take the bullpens out of it. I should do better. I mean, Miller's been pitching all right. He's got one recent bad start. Actually, both these pitchers have similar profiles in that Miller's got one bad start against Miami in his game log, but he's been really, really good around that. Does struggle on the road, though. 2.10 at home, his ERA, 6.28 on the road. That's a key factor, I think, in handicapping this game. He can't strike anyone out on the road. That's the weird. He can't get his swing and miss thing going, which is an odd thing to do because, to my mind, you're just standing on the mountain throwing it. Doesn't matter which city you're in. But anyway, King's record then, similar. He's got a bad start against the Brewers in his game log, but 1 earned run in 3 of his last 4. He had a 2.67 ERA in June, and his first July start was great. Good chance this for the Padres. Probably should have had the wherewithal to take them in the first 5. But I'm going to stick to my guns. I'll take the Padres at minus 126. Next game on the card, 6:50 Eastern first pitch. The New York Yankees at the Tampa Bay Rays. Marcus Stroman will go for the Yankees. It will be Zach Eflin. Draws the start for Tampa Bay. What's the lines on this one? Minus 116 New York. Tampa Bay are minus 102. And the total is sitting at 8. Mark Stroman. Giving up plenty of everything, really. He needs plenty of run support to get the couple of wins that he has got in his recent starts as well. I don't really trust his numbers. I have a little look under the hood, and I just don't. There's nothing in there that makes me think, okay, yeah, I want to get on the right side of Stroman. I just don't. And obviously, the Yankees struggling. We said 6-16 in their last 22. Zach Eflin, though, hasn't really blown my skirt either lately. His game log is quite uninspiring. There's more bad starts and good starts in there. He does have a 3-1 record with a 1.54 ERA against the Yankees in his career, but that not in this form though. Not in the current form he's in. I locked up the over for the Tuesday night game. Was sitting at 8. It's sitting at 8 again tonight, and I still don't want either pitcher. So I'm going to take a consecutive over. Yeah, over 8, Scott.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. F1 has been very good at home, though. 2.43 ERA, but I have to go by recent form as well. And for the most part, he's not been very good. He's allowed at least 4 runs in 2 of his last 3 starts. Did pitch well against the Nationals at home, so most of the bad starts, if not all of them, are on the road. The issue is he pitches to a bunch of contact, and the Yankees do have a lot of power hitters. They've not been doing much lately, but I do think they can do some damage in this one. The Yankees against Eflin have faced him a lot. They have about 117 plate appearances against him, a 308 batting average, so I think they can potentially get some guys on base in this one. Stroman pitches to contact, and recently not the good kind. He has bases recently. I like the over, though. I think 8 is a bit of a low number. I think each team could get to 4 here, and you automatically win because it goes to extras. So I don't mind the over. I think you're going to see a pretty entertaining game, which features some runs, but I think that you're looking at a higher scoring game than people expect. I don't mind Tampa team total over potentially, since Stroman has been known to let a lot of guys get on base, and he's given up some home runs recently, which is not something that he typically does a lot of. So I don't mind Tampa scoring probably 4 in this game, but they should have a team total of like 3.5 because the Yankees are favored in this game. So give me Tampa team total over.
Yeah, right. JT back in the chat wants the over as well. He wants the runs. Max has joined us. Max is pushing his agenda. Go yard or go home. Max won't let it lie. We'll get that on my watch, Max. You might be able to convince one of the weaker-minded, Munaf, etc. But not me. It's going to be Dingers all the way. Where are we going next? I'm very conscious of. I did my usual, the old trick of handicapping the Mets first and forgetting about them at the top of the page. But they're coming up in 2 games' time, so don't let me forget. 7:05 is next. LA Dodgers at the Philadelphia Phillies. Gavin Stone for the Dodgers. Christopher Sanchez, left-handed pitcher. For the Phillies, Phillies minus 125. Dodgers plus 102. Total 9.5. Scott, this was an interesting game. Tight one to call.
Yeah, I find the total kind of odd because I actually like both pitchers. So I don't know why this is at 9.5. I like the under in this game. I know Harper's back in the lineup, so Philly did get some reinforcements, but Sanchez has been very, very good. His ERA is below 3. He's been great at home this season. A 1.35 ERA at home in 60 innings. So he's been phenomenal. Yes, I know he got shelled against the Cubs last time out. That was on the road. His last 2 home starts, 16 innings, no runs. So I like his current form. And Gavin Stone's quietly 9-2 with a 3.03 ERA. So I like both pitchers here. I think this total is really high. Stone's road ERA is 2.3. Maybe you can explain it to me. Why is this total so high? Give me the under.
No, you're right. You've just nailed on the head there. The starting pitcher with a road ERA of 2 something. The home pitcher with a road ERA of 1 something. Maybe, was it not just 2 wobbly starts in the most recent efforts? Because I think I handicapped Gavin Stone for his last outing, which was maybe last Friday night or what have you. Really talked him up and absolutely mushed him. So he had a poor start against the Diamondbacks. His only really good start lately was against the White Sox. So he has dropped off a little bit because he was drawing quite a lot of heat recently. Sanchez got slapped for 7 earned runs against the Cubs last time. But before that, he'd gone 23 innings scoreless. So I'd much rather trust the scoreless streak than a little shellacking in a little bit of an alien environment in Wrigley. I completely agree with you. I like the under, but I like Philly as well. Dodgers hit lefties quite well. But I think you have to trust both pitchers. On the body of work, do you trust the bad starts or do you trust what they've done well? And I trust what they've done well. So, yeah, that 9.5 is far too high. Let's take the under.
By the way, the reason why it's so high is the wind is blowing out to left field at like 15 miles per hour. So that's why it's blown out. But I don't believe either guy's had that many home run issues this season. I mean, Stone's only given up 7 in 92 innings, and Sanchez has given up 2 the entire season. 2 in 97 in the third innings. So both guys keep the ball in the ballpark generally. So, yeah, it's going to be because of wind, but both guys don't really give up that many deep fly balls. So I still like the under, but that's the reason why it's at 9.5.
We'll stick to our guns, Scott. Back to the top of the page. 7:10 Eastern first pitch, Washington Nationals at the New York Mets. It's Patrick Corbin Day. We love that left-handed pitcher for the Nats. Luis Severino for the Mets. Minus 205 on the Mets. That's something you didn't think you'd say 6 weeks ago. The Nationals are plus 172. Total here, Scott, is 9.
I mean, Corbin, we know, has been really bad, but I will give him some props. They skipped his turn one time through the rotation, and he's actually been okay ever since. I mean, he hasn't been otherworldly, but he's been fine. Giving up less than 5 in like 5 straight starts. That's a massive achievement for Patrick Corbin. So I actually think he can pitch decently in this one. Faced the Mets earlier this season, though, did not pitch well. Did well early, then he got destroyed in that 6th inning. 5 1/3, 6 runs, 3 home runs. So the Mets have already killed him once this season. Severino was not very good last time out, but I think this season in general, he's been a pleasant surprise for the Mets. Especially as a Yankees fan, I thought that he just wasn't very good, and he actually has pieced together a decent season for the Mets. But he gave up 7 runs in 6 innings against the Pirates last time out. So recently he's been in a bit of trouble, but once again, Corbin's not a guy I'm exactly thrilled with. So I think I am going to lean to the over. I don't feel great about it, but I have issues with both pitchers in this game. So I'm going to lean over, but I'm not going to bet this game. I have too many questions about both pitchers. I'm not laying $2 with Severino. That's just not going to happen. So maybe Nationals team total over. Use the money line, the total in my favor. Maybe get a decent team total line. So you might get 3.5 on that. I don't mind fading Severino.
Corbin starts is not absolutely horrific. He's not getting blown up, but it's 3-4, 3 earned runs, that kind of thing.
Mm.
Going quite deep into games and not getting shellacked and they get beat. Washington are 1-9 straight up in his last 10 starts. And in those 9 losses, 7 of them came by over 1 run. But 3 of the last 4 Severino have been poor as well, 7, 4, and 6. Better at home. I like the over, Scott. But I've been burned by the Washington offense most lately, live on the stream last night when I backed them to beat the Cards and they never troubled the score. It didn't look like getting anyone.
Yeah, you were hoping for a 9th inning comeback, and the wrong team scored a couple runs in the 9th inning. So.
Yes, yeah. Within 30 seconds of the show finishing, I knew I was toast. So I can't really factor the Washington offense in. My main take here is going to be that run line stat for Corbin, 2 and 7. The 7 losses by over 1 run. So it's not big or clever. I probably won't have any money on it. But if forced to pick, it would be a New York Mets run line. Rhythm. If you're betting on player props, you need to download it. Rhythm is the go-to sports betting tool that transforms complex data into actionable insights, empowering bettors with smarter, data-driven decisions. Unlike other platforms, Rhythm combines advanced predictive analytics with an intuitive user experience, making your betting easy and enjoyable. Rhythm's projections have been red hot for WNBA and golf. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMN. Down the page, 7:10 Eastern first pitch is the Colorado Rockies, the Cincinnati Reds. We have Kyle Freeland going for the Rockies. It will be Frankie Montas for the Cincinnati Reds, who are -178 at home. The Rockies +150. Total here is 9.5. Frankie Montas is another pitcher, I believe, that we handicapped last night. So he's been pushed back tonight. We did. It was Cal Quantrill against Frankie Montas we handicapped for the Tuesday games. Tonight it's Kyle Freeland against Frankie Montas, Scott.
Yeah, so for this one, I might lean to the over in this one. I feel like the Rockies are going to be thrilled to see Montas after facing off against Abbott and Lodolo in the first 2 games of the series. So maybe Montas will actually be a welcome sight for the Rockies. But that was kind of the main news that happened at 2 in the morning. Lodolo was supposed to come back for Thursday, and they decided, you know what? No, Tuesday sounds better. So they brought him back early, and now Montas got pushed back. I still don't think Montas is that good. It's not like my handicap from yesterday's game changed that much. I'm not high on Montas. I don't think he's very good. He's been okay, but he does give up some contact, and he really does not strike out many guys. I think Colorado actually can get to him. Freeland, his numbers kind of speak for themselves. So I'm not a fan of either pitcher in this matchup. Give me the over. I think the Reds can score some runs. The Rockies, I think, can actually get a couple across, unlike what we saw in the opener when Abbott shut them down very comfortably and they scored no runs. 9.5, though, I am going to lean to the over in this one, assuming that it is going to be Montas. Could be potentially Spires pitching, but I'm assuming it's going to be Montas because they pushed him back one day. So I'll lean to the over in this one. I'm not going to back Freeland. Going into the series, I thought the Reds would sweep personally, so I think the Reds are still going to win, but I don't like either pitcher, so give me the over.
Side, Scott, we got a crossfire. I took the under for the Tuesday game when it was Quantrill and Montas. I take the under again. Cal Freeland's numbers, I think, are a little bit lopsided. He had an IL stint, and he's had 3 games back from that IL stint. He's been excellent. 2 wins in those 3 games, and 3 unders in those 3 games as well. Capped Frankie Montas last night. He's been in good form. in low-scoring games. Got that win at the Yankees last week. Pitched a 3.55 ERA in his last 6 starts. So all of that, I'm getting an extra half a run than I was getting on Tuesday as well, which might just be crucial. I'm delighted to take the under 9.5. Next game on the board, 7:10 Eastern first pitch. The Oakland Athletics at the Boston Red Sox. Left-handed pitcher J.P. Sears for Oakland. Nick Pivetta will go for the Red Sox. Plus 166. There is Boston minus 198, and the total is at 9.5. J.P. Sears 5-7 record, 4.74 ERA. He had a good start last time against the Angels. They got a 5-0 win. But that was his only good start in ages. 1-4 on the road, 4.82 ERA. He's given up 10 home runs in 10 games started on the road. So we might revisit this game when it gets to dingers in about 20 minutes or so. Nick Pivetta, quite similar though, really. 7 scoreless with 10 strikeouts against Miami last time. Was his first good performance in a long time as well. But tend to think Pivetta is more likely to follow up the good start than Sears is. Oakland's road record, I think you pointed this out last night, Scott. I mean, it's not a secret, it stinks to high heaven. 12-33 on the road, and they've lost well over half of those. Is it 24-20? I think I counted up on the handicap. I think Pivetta can back his good start up. So yeah, not hugely original, but a Boston run line, Scott.
I think my concern with Boston is that Pivetta's been really bad at home. I mean, his ERA is around 4, but his ERA at home is 5.52. So I don't really trust him to pitch well at home. He's given up, I believe, let me pull this up. Is it at least 2 starts? Let me just see how deep it goes. Yeah, 2 straight starts. He's allowed 4+ runs at home. So I don't exactly know if I trust him to actually duplicate what he did last time out. I think Oakland could score some runs. The issue is total's 9.5. So I was kind of hoping that Oakland would be a pretty low number for a team total. But the money line differential, I don't think is big enough for me to actually consider it. So I thought about first 5 maybe, but I'm not sure that's going to be 1.5 at a bettable price. I think I'm going to lean over, but I don't have much for this game. I feel like the lines are priced in a way that kind of eliminated my action. So I'm not going to bet this game.
You have to. It's company policy, Scott.
I mean, if I had to go for anything on this game, I would consider the over. But once again, I feel like I've been priced out of this actual game.
We'll report you to HR if you don't screenshot me a bet that you got on this game tomorrow.
I said the over. So there we go.
Okay. 8:10 Eastern first pitch. Miami Marlins at the Houston Astros. This made me laugh last night because we do the show and then someone behind the scenes, like the Wizard of Oz, clips a little bit of the show and puts it out on Twitter for a pick of the day. And they clipped me talking up fucking Trevor Rogers. We did like an hour-long show, Scott, where we talked about loads of different things, didn't we? And someone smart, that'll do. We just throw that on Twitter. There's me calling Trevor Rogers that he's going to win it +2 fucking whatever it was.
I want to ask you, though, I want to ask you, what's worse, though? Like, you getting clipped at talking up Rogers or me talking up Flaherty who didn't even pitch? That might be worse.
Well, at least you got no results.
The Tigers won. At least the Tigers won the game, but Flaherty didn't even pitch. So it was just me rambling for 2 minutes about a guy that wasn't even in the lineup. But
I need Rogers to pitch the start of his life here for someone on Twitter not think I'm a complete idiot. So whoever did that in the company, thank you. Where are we going? Brian Hoeing is the answer for the Miami Marlins. Left-handed pitcher, Framber Valdez for Houston. -275. Yikes on the Astros. +225 for Miami. Total here is set at 8, Scott.
Yeah, so Hoeing really does not have much of a sample size, but he's been good. 22 2/3, a 1.99 ERA. The issue is he has not gone more than 3 innings in an entire outing this season. So, yeah, it's basically a bullpen game. Sorry, he went 3 2/3 and 4 innings early back in March and in April. So, yeah, he's gone less than 4 1/3 in every outing. So he's not going to go much length here. Valdez has been kind of up and down, but when he's good, he's really, really good. I think for the sake of this matchup, though, I'm going to go with Houston minus 1.5. It's minus 130. Compared to the money line, it's not bad. You're saving about $1.40. Houston's been in good form. They are 2 games back of Seattle in the division. Looking at the last 3 starts, the Astros have won each of them by multiple runs. Has given up a lot of contact, though. He's allowed 17 hits in his last 2 starts, which is a bit concerning, but Miami's not very good. So I'll go with the Astros minus 1.5. Another game I'm not really that interested in actually betting, but Hoeing gives you no length at all. I don't like this bullpen. The offense has been better lately, but you look at them on paper, and you can't stand this Marlins offense. So give me Houston minus 1.5.
Yeah, same pick, Scott. Nothing big or clever to say about this one. It will be a bullpen day. Who in 3 innings is just about his limit, 5.52 ERA. Valdez shouldn't really be a minus 275. He's not a minus 275 pitcher, is he? 7-5 record. He pitched really well at Baltimore 3 starts ago. That's a nice solid piece of form, actually. And he does get quite a lot of help from the Houston offense as well. So yeah, I'll go the same, Houston on the run line, but this will be further down my list unless I can find a player prop or something that I like on that one. 8:10 Eastern first pitch is the Pittsburgh Pirates at the Milwaukee Brewers. Left-handed pitcher Martin Perez for the Pirates. Tobias Myers, we like saying that, will go for the Brewers, who are minus 152. At home, Pittsburgh plus 128, and the total is set at 8.5. Martin Perez, another pitcher we handicapped last night, Scott. We're getting our practice in on these guys. 1-4, 4.85 ERA. We highlighted his inconsistency, the fact that Pittsburgh have lost 3 of his starts in a row. Tobias Myers started really, really well and has had a good run of games now. He's got quite a body of work we can look at. He's just starting to even out, I think, a little bit. He's just starting maybe to come back to the league, which we see a lot of new faces do. The league are adjusting to him. He's given up 7 in his last 2 starts. He's got a 4.97 home ERA compared to a 2.56 on the road. So I think both pitchers could be a little bit vulnerable here. I'm happy to take it over 8.5, Scott.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Milwaukee minus 1.5. I actually lost money on Myers last time out as he faced off against the Rockies. Didn't think he was that bad. He was really bad early, and then he settled in after the second inning. Jay Cave took him deep, though, for the game-losing home run for him. But I thought Myers was good in general in Coors in his first start there. He's been solid for pretty much most of the season. I think Perez stinks. I mean, he was very good last time out against the Cardinals, but the Pirates this season, or I should say the Pirates over the last couple of months, since the month of April, Pittsburgh has lost 9 of his 11 starts. So I'm good. I'll go with Milwaukee. I think Myers is in line to pitch well, and Perez did face the Brewers in Milwaukee in the middle of May. Can I interest you in 5 innings, 11 hits, 9 runs, 5 home runs?
Yeah,
that's what happened.
You can interest me in that.
That's what happened. So give me Milwaukee minus 1.5 at plus money.
Yes, Scott. Right, this next one, I've just spotted all this. Actually, on the show last night, I think it might have been Gio or maybe Gio pointed out that there was some weather incoming for the Kansas City Royals at St. Louis. We mentioned that. And sure enough, that game has gone to the Dogs today. So we've got a doubleheader, which has completely fucked up my handicapping of everything. So I'll mention it, but that's about it. I've got Alec Marsh against Palante in the early game, and then we've got Michael Wacker and Sonny Gray in the late game. Last night we handicapped Wacker v Palante. Tonight I was going to handicap Marsh v Gray. So that's all zigged and zagged all over the place. So yeah, the lines are a mess, and I don't really know what else to tell you about that. On the fly, Scott, do you have anything?
Well, I think that it is kind of worth mentioning that I'm still not a big Palante guy, even though he's been better recently. Remember when Marsh's stats were really good for like the month of April and he was your favorite pitcher? Remember that happened for a bit?
Yeah.
Feels like ages ago. He's not been very good recently. Yeah. Unfortunately, though, he might have peaked when you called him your favorite pitcher because he's not been good since. But I think for this one, I am going to lean to the over in the Marsh and Palante start because I don't really trust either pitcher. Probably would have leaned to St. Louis, though. I think that Marsh has been worse than Palante recently. For the other game, I don't know if you agree with most doubleheaders splitting or if that's kind of a way you break it down.
Yeah.
I usually don't, but in reality, I do like Waka a lot more than I like Marsh, at least based on current form. So give me the Royals in the late game and give me the Cardinals in the early game.
What we talked last night about the baseball rules, didn't we? The things you have to do if you're a baseball bettor, and splitting the doubleheader is another one. I was quite pleased with myself initially because I handicapped Marsh v Gray, and my last line says the books are going to put this total too low, and I've got brackets 8, and the line came out with 7.5, and I was really pleased with myself. And then it turns out the pictures are all skew with, and I'm probably not as clever as I thought I was. In order, I was fading Marsh, I was fading Gray, I was fading Palante, and I liked Wacker. There you go. So if you can find a bet out of all that lot, you're a better man than me.
I do want to point out, by the way, with Gray, and a reason why I'm kind of fading him in the late game. He's actually been really bad his last 2 starts. 9 1/3,
Yeah,
15 hits allowed, 11 runs allowed, 8 of them earned. Gray has really not been good for the last 2 outings, and I feel like people haven't really noticed.
that was my point. When I thought it was Marsh v Gray, I thought the books haven't noticed, the books will have this too low. And I thought the total would be 8, and I saw 7.5, and I was really delighted with myself. That line might have actually been for those 2 pitches because I saw that earlier on. So that was completely what I thought, Scott. Totally agree with you. Hence the fade of Gray. 9:38 Eastern first pitch. Texas Rangers at the LA Angels. Michael Lorenzen for the Rangers. Griffin Canning for the Halos, who are plus 120 on the money line. Texas minus 142. Total is 9.5. Michael Lorenzen gave up 5 earned runs at Baltimore 3 starts ago, which is fair enough. Baltimore get to a lot of people, but he's been better against lesser opposition pretty much everywhere else. And Texas have played a lot better lately too. Griffin Canning has given up 4 earned runs in 4 of his last 5 starts. He has a 5.70 career ERA against Texas, a 16-34 walk to strikeout rate, which is slightly alarming. The Angels 3-7 in the last 10. Not in good form. Texas, as we speak, have won 4 in a row. It all points to Texas. They're just about the working man's price, minus 142, Scott.
Yeah, so for this one, I'm going to blindly take Texas anyway. A couple reasons. One, they've won 4 straight. Texas is starting to look like a competent baseball team. For now, we've seen them be up and down the entire season. I guess they're on a good swing. I think Canning's terrible. I think he's objectively bad. So I'll keep fading Canning. I think I tried to back him once with an under a week or 2 ago against Detroit. And even Detroit killed him. I think Canning's just a really bad pitcher. So give me Texas at what I think is a pretty affordable price here. Lorenzen, you mentioned, was not great last time out, but he's been fine for the most part this season. Canning, though, 4.87 ERA. At home this season, he's been better, but he has given up at least 4 earned runs in at least 4 of the last 5 starts. Let me just see how deep it goes. Yeah, 4 of the last 5, he's allowed at least 4 runs. So I think he stinks, objectively. So give me the Rangers.
Sounded more personal than objective, Scott.
No, I just think he's bad. Just that's really it. I just think he's bad.
He sits next to Alec Marsh in just about all of my best ball teams. I've drafted him everywhere. I don't know why. It's another one I've had a soft spot for years. So I was really pleased when Marsh was going well. But now both of them are just knocking my ERA completely through the ceiling. The penultimate game on the show is the Atlanta Braves, the Arizona Diamondbacks, which is a 9:40 Eastern first pitch. Did we not handicap Charlie Morton last night as well? Yeah, we did. He's another one. They're all what's going on here? Charlie Morton is pushed back to Wednesday for Atlanta. The Snakes are officially TBD, but I've got Slade Ciccone listed. no lines. This is the one game that was off the board. Guessing it's the lack of an Arizona pitcher. Scott, do you have an awful lot on this?
I feel like it's pretty similar to my breakdown of Canning. I think Ciccone stinks, so I'll take Morton. Morton, though, I have to point out, has been a lot better at home than on the road this season, but damn, Ciccone's been bad in Arizona. 17 innings, 22 earned runs, so an 11.65 ERA at home. Not very good. He gave up 3 runs in 4 innings against Oakland at home. That's how bad he's been. But he's also been getting killed in terms of the wins and losses recently. Lost 3 straight games by multiple runs, 4 of the last 5 multiple runs. I think he's in line to get buried here. And even if he does pitch well, who's going to close the game? Sewald? Sewald's terrible. He blew another save yesterday. So I don't trust anything about this team. I like the offense. I think Arizona can score. So you might like an over in this game, but Ciccone's been bad. The bullpen's been terrible. That's basically it. Give me Atlanta team total over. I think they're going to kill Ciccone.
Tony had a good start when I absolutely faded him to death on the show a couple of weeks ago. He had 2 good starts in mid-June, but has regressed very hard again since Arizona are losing the majority of his games. We mentioned previously that Morton's on a good start routine, and it's time for a good one, which is good news. He pitched 12th throughout June as well. Atlanta, they're going to be short. Atlanta run line, something like that. Kind of relieved there's no prices, so I don't have to go into too much depth on that one. Final game on the card. This is one for Scott. This is a 9:45 Eastern first pitch between the Toronto Blue Jays and the San Francisco Giants. Chris Bassett for the Blue Jays, Logan Webb for the Giants. -138 San Francisco, +118 Toronto. Total 7.5. Logan Webb at home. Scott, are we going any further?
Not really. The only question was, do I want the under attached to it? And I might.
Yes.
I think you're looking at a low-scoring game. Bassett has been, for the most part, good this season. So I think you're looking at a pretty solid pitcher's duel here. We know it's in a very pitchers-friendly ballpark, being in San Francisco. Bassett 7-7, 3.43 ERA, but he has an ERA below 3 on the road. Recently was not great, though. Did give up 4 runs against Houston, but that was a home start. The Blue Jays, though, have been really bad whenever he's pitched. So he kind of developed Reese Olson-itis, I guess, if you want to call it that way. But he has actually, or I should say, Toronto's lost 5 of his last 6 starts, and he's given up less than 3 runs in basically 5 of those 6 starts. So once again, he's been good, and they don't win his starts anyway. So I'll go with the Giants, and I'll lean to the under. I see a low-scoring game. Give me Giants 3-2.
Yes, Scott. We love a correct score prediction. Yeah, what else to say? I like the under. I like Webb. I'll be taking both of those. The Giants are really good at home as well, 25-19 at home. Webb's record is 4-2 at home, but straight up, in his 8 starts, the Giants are 6-2. So I'm absolutely happy to take that. We don't want to factor in the psycho Blue Jays. Bassett is decent on the road. 195 junior ERA. So that all leads us towards the under. I got the same 2 plays. San Francisco Giants at -138 and under 7.5. And, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, 16 games that time, kind of, in the books. Scott, if you could pick your lock and dog in under an hour, not like last night, I would appreciate it. What have you got this time?
Yeah, I'll do my best. Thought about the under in that Phillies and Dodgers game, but I think I am going to go with the Rangers instead. Maybe I'm in a good mood because Corey Seager hit home run for me, so I finally got on the board for the home run prop.
He did. Well played.
Thank you. I think that was +255. But I'm going to go with the Rangers here. I think Canning's really bad. Rangers offensively have been better recently. Seager's healthy. He had a home run yesterday. Garcia's been good. The Angels, though, we know are a really bad team. Canning's allowed 4+ runs in 4 of his last 5, and I think the Rangers can pick him apart. I think Lorenzen's fine, simply put. So give me the Rangers in good form at around -142 on the money line. For my dog in this one, I think I am going to go back to Milwaukee, -1.5 here. Said before, Perez faced off against the Brewers this season already. Gave up 5 home runs and 9 earned runs. So, yeah, I'm good fading him. And I think Myers is actually pretty good. So Milwaukee -1.5. plus 146. I get to fade Martin Perez at plus 146. Hell yeah, I'm going to do that. That's my dog.
Nice. Trev has gone 4. The Rays money line is his luck. And Webb over 18.5 points as his dog. Oh, it's not a dog, Trev. Get out. I'm not buying that. My luck will be. Do you know what? I'm quite tempted to take the same luck as I took last night, which is the Yankees and the Rays over 8. But in the interest of diversity, I'm going to take the Padres minus 126 against Seattle. Now, you actually made a better case for the Padres' first 5. So I'm going to show growth and development, and I'm going to take that, Scott. So I'm going to lock up the Padres on the first 5. Just take the bullpens out of it. Miller's been a little bit dodgy. Michael King's been good lately, and prefer to take a few more extraneous variables out of it. So Padres on the first 5. And for my dog, I like the Tigers at home to the Guardians. They are plus 118. Reece Alston's been good. Starting to string together a nice little sequence of wins. And Cleveland just aren't the same team on the road. So at plus 118, I'm happy with the Tigers. And finally, Max, this is dingers. Scott, you are officially on a streak, a run, a sequence. You are hot. So, what you got?
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about tonight's one, because I took Ramirez and he announced he's joining the home run derby today. So I'm hoping he goes out of his way to try to hit a home run against Maeda. Good price, though. About plus 475, plus 470. So hopefully that ends up cashing for us. But for the actual home runs in this one, did I want to go really, really chalk and take Alonso against Corbin? Because I know the wind's blowing out like crazy to left field. The problem is he's going to be priced like he's in the middle of Wrigley. So I got to wonder if that's actually worth taking for what should be a very ugly price.
I really just think last night, if you remember, Scott, didn't have got for the Tuesday night game, so it would be back-to-back polar bears if you do it.
Yeah, I know, but it's just he's so good against Corbin, from what I remember. He's 15 of 46 with 5 home runs against Corbin in his career. I think I have to do it. I mean, the price is going to be low. It's going to be low as hell, but the wind's blowing out to left field at like 17 miles per hour. It's going to be somewhere in the 200s probably, which I'm not happy about, but I got to at least consider it because Seager got me there, and I'm going to at least acknowledge it. Give me Alonso. He owns Corbin. The wind's blowing out heavily. I think he goes yard. So give me Alonso for a home run against Corbin.
Okay, earlier on the show, I highlighted the home run problem that JP Sears has been having, the lefty for Oakland. So I'm looking down the Red Sox lineup. The Red Sox have filled it full of lefties tonight, taking on Joey Estes. But we've switched back to against left-handed pitching tomorrow. So the one that stands out is the Red Sox with the great big muscles. Tyler O'Neill is the answer. He's batting 3 tomorrow, and he will douche one out over the monster off JP Sears. Yeah, happy with that, Scott. We did it. Anything you want to tell the people about? Put the tennis on today for about 20 seconds, and it was pissing down with rain everywhere, so they had to play under the roof. Is that ruining the tournament, or could it still been getting it done?
No, I'm just happy they played it. I mean, it's been raining every day. I have a bigger issue with the curfew for Wimbledon. They have a bunch of antiquated rules from like 1850 that they never update, which pisses me off. But either way, it was a good day for tennis, so hopefully that carries over into tomorrow.
Mate, it has been raining. The second we finish this, I'm going to take the Slug Pro RS out into my back garden and wage war on the little slimy bastard. So we're eating all my ornamental grasses and flowers. And it's been so wet today, it's going to be like the World Cup of slugs out there. So in 10 minutes, like an absolute psychopath, I'll be out there twirling me Slug Pro about. That was loads of fun. The chat was loads of fun. Appreciate everyone who joined us. Someone will be back tomorrow. Maybe Munaf, maybe Dylan, maybe Lonte, who knows? Possibly me and Scott will be back again for the hat-trick. But anyway, appreciate it. Good luck with all your picks. Come on, England, tomorrow. We'll see you down the road. Cheers.